one other thing. Is my audio okay right now?
Yep.
Yes, you're
Okay,
great.
so I'm just going to do it open without headsets and stuff. Okay.
That's fine.
Record on this computer. So we're going live. All right, and then so we're live right now on Facebook, and then I'm going to start the webinar. So we'll open up the lobby, is what I like to say. So you open up the lobby. So it might be a little early. People in these days of not having to travel take a little bit, aren't quite as early to jump in. So they usually wait to the last minute.
Question, when you see my screen, you just see the presentation now. You don't see the tiles with your faces, right?
Correct.
Right.
I see your presentation. Yes, you got it.
That's the presentation. Okay, good.
Yep. All right. So we'll give everybody just a couple of minutes as they're coming on in here, and then we'll get started. So I don't have any fancy elevator music to play in the background. I should pull some of that over. Yeah, right.
We need a MassMEP theme song.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be cool.
Unfortunately, as a nonprofit, we probably can't afford to have that created for us. But
Wait, our theme song?
yeah, do we have a theme song?
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
sorry.
Rich. Yes,
I totally missed it.
No, it's okay, because you don't listen to the podcast. That's why. You just dead giveaway right there. That was your tell.
All
Thank
right.
you, Rich.
Yep, you're right.
So
No,
you
actually,
guys
I
have
listened to the podcast, but at high speed.
You guys have a podcast? You're big time.
Yeah,
Yes,
we do.
yeah,
We do.
yeah.
Brian, just now you will get an invite to be on the podcast.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I
so
will.
be prepared. We might have to
Yeah.
do it after this. So
Yeah, that'd be fun.
awesome. This actual event might make it as a podcast, because we've actually been converting a lot of our webinars over to a podcast format, because it gives it, another alternative for people. So we do have, yep. So we have, all right. So we have people that are coming in. So as you guys are coming in, we'd like to welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. This is the MassMEP Industry 4.0 Business Strategy information session. This will be turning into our hopefully consortia that will roll down the line. So thanks everyone for joining us this morning. Before I introduce our panelists and our team at MassMEP, we just want to go over a couple of housekeeping items. As you can see, you are in a webinar format. And that being said, you are still able to engage with your panelists today. So you can see on the bottom ribbon of your screen, there is a Q&A, which is two chat bubbles next to each other, and then there is the chat. So if you use, we are strongly encourage you to use the chat, or if you need to direct something specifically to one of our panelists or to someone specifically at MassMEP, we ask you to go ahead and put that in there for the chat. As for the Q&A, we would love for you guys to put in questions for Marc and Brian and Rich today. And we usually say, if you have a question, more than likely somebody else in the audience has a very similar question. So please go ahead and pop that in there. Some of you might ask something specific in the chat that we may feel would be beneficial for the entire audience. And if that's the case, you might get a response back from one of us saying, hey, do you mind? Can you pop this into the Q&A and let's have a group discussion on this. So those are the options for you today. We do want to let everybody know we are recording this session. We use that for our internal purposes, but we are also live on Facebook. If there are some of you in here today that you feel someone else couldn't attend, but they would be interested in the information that we have here, this will live on our Facebook page. So you can send them to the MassMEP Facebook page, and then under our videos, they'll be able to access this webinar and be able to watch it in full. That's the nicest option. It's like a DVR option, so you can skip all the commercials if you would like, but we do have that available for you. So that's one of the options today. And now I'm going to introduce you to our panelists. So with us on our MassMEP team, we have with us Rich Sullivan. He is one of our business development advisors. Rich will kind of be wrapping things up with Marc and Brian at the end of the webinar to talk a little bit about why we're here today and how this is intertwined with MassMEP. With us for your panelists, though, we have with us Mr. Marc Roth. He is from Spinnaker Venture Partners. And our special guest today we have is Brian Kononchik. Is that right, Brian?
Oh, you nailed it.
Ah, yes, I'm so excited. I practiced it beforehand. So Brian is with us today. Brian is with Boston Engineering. So thanks, Brian, for joining us today as well. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over and enjoy your webinar.
Thank you, people. I just want to quickly kind of run down what we're talking about here today. The Industry 4.0 is a big buzzword these days. It's nothing futuristic or scary. It's all existing technology, and we're not really here to talk about the technology so much as the business case for it. MassMEP, along with all the MEP centers nationwide, traditionally has focused on bottom line improvements, basically, operational efficiency and process improvements. In recent years, we've gotten more into the top line, so revenue growth, essentially, sales, marketing, generating more income. What's happening now is we're seeing a convergence, really, of the bottom line and the top line solutions working together to create business value. And so today's focus basically is on how to strategize your smart manufacturing and technology investment in such a way that it creates business value. And with that, our partner here with Industry 4.0 strategy is Marc Roth with Spinnaker Venture Partners. And I'll let you take it from here, Marc.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. Y'all can hear me? Things are working?
All good.
Okay, and you can see the screen. Okay, guys, well, I'm Marc Roth, and I'm here with Brian Kononchik. Brian's with Boston Engineering. As you heard, I'm with Spinnaker Venture Partners, but also for the last year and a half or so, I've been playing a role with MassMEP as the resident Industry 4.0 subject matter expert. As such, last year, we ran a consortium that was very integrated around the topic in general. And I think from our learnings last year and experiences with that, we have come up with the programs we're going to describe to you today, which we feel as a result of that experience will better meet the needs of the community here in the Massachusetts manufacturing community for how to leverage Industry 4.0 to drive value in your business, both to drive value from the point of view of creating more opportunities for revenue growth based on that technology, as well as ways in which to optimize your operations and optimize your supply chain to get better efficiency, operational, effectiveness, lower costs, and have therefore higher margins with respect to the revenue growth that we hope we can all appreciate as we go down the road to Industry 4.0 digitization. So, what is this Industry 4.0 thing in the first place? A lot of times we see this chart. We see this chart that has Industry 4.0 at the center, implying that it's our manufacturing plant, our factory floor, where we do our production. And what the world has been promoting to us is the idea that Industry 4.0 is made of all of these different technologies. Cybersecurity, cloud computing, machine to machine, so getting the data from your real-time machines, from your CNCs or whatever, 3D printers and robotics and the Internet of Things and such. So our point of view is a little different here. What we're saying is these are all important, but these are all point solutions. These are just technologies looking for problems to solve. And we don't want to go at Industry 4.0 just as technology for technology's sake. We really want to focus on how is the technology going to create value in our business? How are we going to really create a good business case for what to do with Industry 4.0? So to that end, we like to look at Industry 4.0 as this wheel. And in this wheel, we're really interested in trying to say, what are the business cases that are really going to make a difference in our business for Industry 4.0? And most importantly, how are we going to get a return on the investment we'll make in these technologies, and which technology should we invest in and when, in order to drive either top line growth, improve our operational efficiency for bottom line impact, and otherwise manage risk with respect to compliance and, cybersecurity and other things that might be related to that. As a result, you want to think more in terms of business cases, problems that need to be solved, or things that are challenges that, if addressed, would create more value in our business, and then have them match up with the technologies you need. So whether you want to create better customer-driven insight, or you want to have remote maintenance, or things having to do with demand forecasting, for instance, are important, or predictive maintenance and analytics, or really having automation to Q&A, doing remote monitoring, helping operators to be able to understand better how to actually execute their process, or having a smart warehouse. These are business applications that can create value in our business, and they can be enabled by the technologies that we were talking about before for automation and data and other things. So our focus here really is to create a series of consortia that will help us be able to understand what the business case is, how to generate the value, and then how to enable the technology both across our value chain and supply chain, and also within our internal operations on the factory floor to leverage the data that's out of those machines to do better. So in essence, we want to say, how can we think and act differently about this, about Industry 4.0, to both drive growth and create value in our business? So what is it? So our way of thinking about Industry 4.0 is to suggest, I have to move something on my screen, excuse me, is to suggest that it's really the real-time, intelligent digital networking of people, processes, and equipment to create value. It's really about the digital thread, as it's been referred to in the past, how we can use the connected networks inside our business and how they connect to the internet and to the cloud and reach our stakeholders, both on the supply chain and the stakeholders as our customers, to create a digital thread of information and leverage that data flow and information to create value, to create growth in our revenue, and to lower the costs and make our equipment run more, our factory run more efficiently. So Industry 4.0 then ultimately becomes those technologies we saw before. If you think about robotics and you think about 3D printers, they are just simply artifacts or outcomes of what we think about of Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is data-driven. It's about the data. It's about the digital transformation and the digitization of all the analog things around us. Once you have them digitized, then we can create things like robots and 3D printers and all kinds of interesting things that can be used. But without the digital process, without the digital data, we really wouldn't have this opportunity. So it's really around the data. So there's a lot of data in your world. In your business, there's more data than you may realize. In the front office, there's plenty of data, whether you're using QuickBooks to run your business or you're on Salesforce.com to understand how you're managing customer relationships and things, to the factory floor where your machines and your MRP system and your Excel spreadsheets that have all the things you keep track of, the schedules, the ebb and flow of things coming in the back, in the front, in the back door to be supplied, stuff going out the front door off to customers, the information in your invoices, the information in actually the machines that could be connected to and tapped. Lots of data is in your environment, in your business. And there's a whole pile of latent, untapped potential in that data. So that if we can connect to that data in an easy way and flow that data and then see that data analytically, we would be able to create value. So what we really want to first concentrate on is, what is the data that's in our business? How can that data turn into information which it probably does already for you, information about my sales, information about behavior of my customers, who likes what products, what suppliers are on time and not so on time, what's the ebb and flow of how of the uptime and downtime and utilization of my machines and my people on my factory floor. Take the data and turn it into this information. And all of this information, when we look at it through an analytical lens, will really give us insight. This insight will help us to understand where are we doing well, where could we do improvement, how can we find the questions or challenges that if we answer them or address them will create more capacity, more speed, lower my costs, or maybe even drive 2-3 times more business with customers by being able to leverage the data, turn it into information, and understand that information by getting insight into our businesses, the things that give us opportunities. It's this insight that's going to drive the business cases that we can create, where we can understand where the I 4.0 technology is going to make a really big difference in the performance of our business and why we should adopt it. It's where this data-driven approach to your business will enhance and complement all the work you've done to date with MassMEP in Lean and in Kaizens. So it's the whole value of how to take data, turn it into the information, gain some insight, and in the end, create value for the business. That's our objective. So what we really want to do then is to understand how to do that so we can develop then on the end a strategy and a roadmap for deployment. If we understand the business cases, if we understand where the value is, we can prioritize the best, the low-hanging fruit or the most high return on our investment of our time and our money, and then create a strategic roadmap for deployment where the first case might be a small investment, not taking too much, but it unlocks enough of the data that the benefit of that economically actually creates enough new resources in our business in terms of capacity of people, in terms of better margins and a little more cash, that we can then go to the next step and would fund forward the next step that would create even greater value and ultimately maybe even create enough value that in combination with the incentives the state offers, be able to then buy those capital or do those capital projects you want to do to further automate and move in this direction of Industry 4.0 and the data-driven manufacturing enterprise and participate in the whole data-driven value chain that derives from that. So when we think about this, the other thing that's really important here is about empowerment of the workforce. And in this, I'd like to turn this over now to Brian to talk a little bit about the intersection of Industry 4.0, the data-driven business, and the issues around employee empowerment.
Yeah, so we just heard a lot about data, the insights of that data, how you could understand the value that understanding the data will provide and the roadmap of deployment. But a big piece of Industry 4.0 digital transformation is the people. It's the people, that make your business operate on the day-to-day. It's empowering them to be optimally efficient by providing them access to that data that you're aggregating and understanding and displaying it to them in a means that makes sense to them in their role. By curtailing the data to user groups, user roles, user identities, you really give them that, insight geared specifically towards them so they could continue finding new value within that data and identify potentially new revenue streams, process improvement plans, manufacturing inefficiencies, things like that. So that's really the manager level, your upper echelon of your organization type people. But then you also have your workforce on the manufacturing floor. Many times, many systems, are, it's very complex for a shop floor worker to access the same type of information, the same type of systems that their supervisors, their managers have access to, which puts them at a disadvantage. Well, by utilizing modern tools, modern technologies, you can put that data in their hands to empower them to be more efficient. You can capture their knowledge and be able to transfer that knowledge to other individuals on the floor. It will increase your onboarding time. Employees will feel like they're contributing back to the company more, which has shown to increase employee retention, so less turnover, and the engagement of the workforce, just skyrockets. You really see an improvement in standard operating procedures because, as we all know, you put out an SOP, the moment it puts out, someone might find a better way to go about that, that procedure. Well, that becomes, tribal knowledge, industry knowledge of the floor itself. And very rarely it loops back to do an SOP modification. Well, by putting tools in their hand, you can actually have that workforce make suggestions on the SOP and have improvement plans and improve processes to make those adjustments. So digital transformation, Industry 4.0 isn't just about the data and analyzing the data and seeing where you could, increase your value of your business, but it's also empowering the workforce so they can be optimally more efficient, so they could contribute back to the business in the ways that, they have never been able to do before. And by doing that, you will yet again continue to see, your top line grow. Back to you, Marc.
Okay, thanks, Brian. So again, workforce engagement, employee retention, capturing the knowledge of that's almost the art of some of your key employees who've been doing this for 20 years, 30 years, and they understand how things work, and allowing the young people who really could be really great new employees be able to get engaged with your business because they're able to engage on a level that really meets their cognitive perspective, the way they think the world should work, which is digitally enabled and data driven, is really another essential part for what we want to get as an outcome of adopting an Industry 4.0 data driven, information driven manufacturing enterprise approach. And so what are some of the examples that we see of this happening? How are people otherwise driving? You see a lot of these things, and these are the business cases we want to make that then should lead to how should we best use these things? Whether on the operating factory floor, we're using augmented reality ultimately to be able to help people understand how is what I'm working on performing? Did I meet the right dimensions? Maybe simultaneously be able to provide them with the instructions that they need in order to operate on that particular part, as well as automatically dimensioning that part and collecting quality information and feeding it back is that's what we see in this first one around the car. Augmented reality, being able to feed the data right to the factory floor worker, empower that worker to become engaged with the process that they're involved in. Also, as it extends out to the supply chain and it extends out to your customer base, how can you use other people's connected equipment? How is your part actually maybe participate in somebody else's product? And how can we connect using that data back to understand, hey, do they need a little bit more? Have they consumed what I've sent them last time? Should I be sending them automatically the next product order? Can I keep them as a customer by engaging them, by telling them, hey, I can monitor how you're using my equipment, and I can give you some advice as how to use it better and get more value from my equipment. Please stay to be my customer, is another value proposition or business case that both creates efficiency, cuts across the supply chain, helps us gain retention of customers, maintain our base business while we open up opportunities for more market share and share gain in the business. And lastly, but not least, of course, is being able to connect to the factory floor, really being able to understand how automation, robots, and other things then are going to participate in making our factory floor more efficient and driving back lower costs and higher margins in our business. So how do we get operational efficiency while also driving new revenue opportunities once we have this data flowing around our business? So what are some of the questions, I think, that we would like to really ask ourselves as we go through these consortia and be able to answer? So how does Industry 4.0 technologies really deliver value to my manufacturing operations? What are the business cases that we can identify? And then how is it that the technology investment, either in some simple analytics with some simple tools, right, that are basically free off the web, can give us value? Or how are we going to be able to start to think about cybersecurity and big data, or even robots and 3D printers in our business? How is that going to come into our business based on a business case to deliver value? What are the digital resources that you really have in your business now? And how can you access them? It's really interesting to just sit back and understand, where are the sources of data that are easy to harvest right now, easily accessible right now in your business? And then where are the ones that you haven't tapped into that may be actually built right into the equipment that you already have, but it's been difficult or not so obvious how to unlock that data stream and put that data in a form that it's meaningful. So how do you find those digital resources? How do you find that data? And how do we find easy and cost-effective and simple ways to access that data to, again, turn it into information, to gain the insight as to how we can improve? What can that data tell you once we get it out there? What kind of insights will we have in terms of how our products are being used, how our suppliers are being able to meet our requirements relative to getting us the material we need to run our business, and how is our factory floor performing? How are we utilizing our assets most effectively? Do we have untapped capacity? Can we create more capacity to take more business? What kind of things can they give us insight to so that we can actually execute the improvements we want to execute? How is Industry 4.0 going to build on your lean and Kaizen culture? Well, this goes hand in hand. As you'll see in another chart, the whole idea of Industry 4.0, a digitally transformed and data-driven business, is not a substitute to lean or Kaizen. It's an empowerment to it. It's an enablement of it. It makes it become something that can be done every day, all the time, every minute, while your process is being running. It makes lean and Kaizen type thinking to really be almost a real-time enabled process that engages all the levels of your business all at the same time. It can be a way to give a common language of communication between the folks who are running things on the manufacturing floor, their supervisors and managers, and the people who are the owners and stakeholders in the business, so that we all get on the same page and really can understand what really is the value of a change that somebody's suggesting who's doing it every day in terms of my bottom line, my top line, and the value created in my business. How can Industry 4.0 create value for me and my stakeholders across your value chain? So there's the supply chain part, and there's the customers at the other end. If we're all digitally connected, there's a lot of interesting things we can do with the data once we start to get the data collected and flowing across there, whether it has to do with how you create an opportunity for your supply chain partners to be better connected to your needs, so they have what you need when you need it ready. Or maybe on your customer side, how you drive more value to your customers with what you sell them or have sold them in the past. If you're a machine builder and you're selling machines to people, and those are capital costs, if we digitally enable that channel, the next thing you know, you can sell them a value-added subscription to a long-term service agreement, a response time agreement, something like that, that creates greater value to the current business you already have. How can you create a roadmap for deployment? Well, that's what the consortia are meant to be all about. They're meant to address these questions, provide you the tools, show you how those tools can be applied to your business, show you how to look at the data sources in your business across your supply chain and down in your factory floor to unlock the latent value that's in that data, and help you to come up with a plan as to where should you invest and on what sequence and over time should you invest, so those investments, in essence, pay forward to the next investment, pays forward to the next investment in a logical and sensible way, especially in our businesses, which are always resource constrained. So these are the key questions we really want to be able to answer and address in the consortia. Relative to lean, for instance, and this is from Deloitte, as we think about the business going in this direction, and as we think about adopting the Industry 4.0 kinds of digitally enabled technologies, it really takes what we already know on the blue line here about what lean has been able to provide us and continues to provide us, and really amplifies the benefit of what we can get from lean thinking by going what Deloitte likes to call digital lean, as you can see here, by adopting where lean meets the Industry 4.0. So what we'd like to do is discover together with you through the consortia how to get you on your green line. What's the green line for your business? And then how can you do that in a sensible, financeable way that drives business results? So, is your business ready? We hope so. We'd love you to join the consortia that we're going to be planning for this year in order to explore that and understand at the high level these different opportunities for your business, and then how you could be going forward with the support of the MassMEP in this area. So we'd like to invite you to think and act differently with us about how to leverage Industry 4.0 to drive growth at the same time that we're creating value and operational efficiency and building on all the investment that you've probably made over the many years with MassMEP in operational improvement. So to do that, we have broken this into 3 consortia on 3 legs of the stool of your business. The first one is around business growth, developing the strategy, an Industry 4.0 driven strategy for growth to help drive the top line of your business and understand how to create greater margins in your business through efficiencies. This will allow us to understand how revenue evolves from your business, how it's developed, and where there's opportunities to grow that revenue that are probably today unseen. It's a way to look at your business in a data-driven way, starting with the top line and understanding then how that unlocks capacity so that you'll be able to afford the investments you may want to make in operational improvement and supply chain management. So the second one that we have is around operational improvement, just really answering that question that we asked before. Where are those? Where is the data in my business? How can I unlock it? How can I get it accessed? How can I turn that data into information and insight to create operational improvement? How can I digitally enable my lean process? That will be all around what's going on in the operational improvement part. It'll be very technical. It'll be pretty much the how-to book on where are the resources to actually connect to the data sources, connect to my machines, get my people, my operators involved in ways that give me insight to the way my business performs internally. And lastly is around what we call the supply chain. The supply chain part is really about how do we look at Industry 4.0, the digital thread, and how is a digitally enabled process let us have a more efficient, more connected, more performing supply chain management approach to better enable our business for growth, to make sure that our suppliers are better connected to us, that we have a better preferred situation in terms of our priority with our suppliers relative to our needs in our manufacturing. So if we look at this, we've sort of covered the value chain from the top line of how you get your revenue and how you're going to connect to the customers and how it makes sense to use that there. to the operational improvement of having a high margin business operation, manufacturing floor running, and to open up growth, to be able to open up capacity to have more operational improvement and to make that really efficient so our supply chain can participate in our growth in an effective way and not lead us waiting with idle equipment because we don't have the materials to put in our machines. So 3 legs of the stool. We think these are 3 ways we can add some value through our consortia to help maybe set the stage for Industry 4.0. What does it mean and how can it be meaningful to your business? Guys, with that, I think I would turn this over back to our friends at MEP as to how this can be financed, how you might participate, and where we would go from here.
Yeah, thank you, Mark, for that. The important thing to understand here is that this is going to happen eventually for every company. You know, you can't be operating off of clipboards and pencils in the very near future and expect to compete. So what we're trying to do is de-risk this exploratory Industry 4.0 consortium by having 100% grant funded solution. So this is aside from your time, it's not going to cost anything to learn about how this can empower your business. And really, you know, it's about workforce engagement, workforce retention. And modern workers don't want to be hired hands; they want to be active participants in a business. And a manufacturing business is very rewarding to be in because you're actually making something. But I mean, this is, you know, MassMEP is here to help you improve cost, quality, and delivery. And you know, doing this through a digital transformation is going to just make it that much more powerful and better for your business. So we're here to help. You know, we've got access to the programs, we've got access to the funding, we do all the paperwork for you. The consortiums are designed basically so that very small companies can participate, and it is less of a challenge to meet the matching requirements of the grants. But these grants are your tax dollars at work. You're paying for them through your payroll taxes, and we're helping get that money back to you in the form of growing your business. And that's all I have. Unless Haley or Christy has anything to add.
Yeah, so we have Christy's in with us. Christy Grignon's our sales and marketing director. So Christy, if you have anything you'd like to add, please jump in.
No, just if you guys are interested in being a part of a consortium, we're going to reach out to everybody that was here today and start the process of putting the consortium together with a letter of commitment. And then we get everything rolling through the state. So it does take a little bit of time, but we'll be reaching out to see if you're interested. Or if you need any more information, we can always put you in touch with either Marc Roth or Brian Kononchik or Rich, just to answer any questions that you may have. We're also open to answering any questions right now. Haley, I believe you guys have either the chat or a Q&A that you could put some questions into.
Yep. We've been answering them during the whole session.
Excellent. So yeah, just if you have any interest, we're ready to get another consortium going, and it's well worth your time and effort. So please reach out and we'll be reaching out to you. And then Haley's just going to tell you about an upcoming event to learn even more.
Yeah, so because we have, obviously, as what you've heard today from Marc and Rich, I apologize too, my camera isn't working. So that's why you can't see my face. I don't like that. I normally like for people to be able to see my face, so I apologize. But in regards to, you know, Industry 4.0 and the road mapping and what Marc and Brian and Rich have spoke about today, upcoming in May, we have a big event. We will be, we're super excited about it. It is May 20th. It is from 8 a.m. to noon, and it is all about Industry 4.0. So the event title is called Manufacturing Your Future I 4.0. 0. So that event, like I said, is May 20th. In that event, we will be having our subject matter experts in regards to all different avenues of Industry 4.0. It could be along the lines of additive, Internet of Things. And Rich, you can jump in as well. Rich and I are both on a team for this that's putting this event together. So it's very well versed. We have great panelists that will be in attendance, a lot of great takeaways. I think the biggest component of it is in person. So I think a lot of
And it's
people
at
are
Polar Park.
Yeah, and it's at Polar Park too. Right, that's right, Polar Park as well. So if you
Catch a
haven't had
baseball game later in the day.
Yes, if you haven't had an opportunity to go, we would recommend that this is your great excuse to go. Obviously, of course, you're going to go for our event, but why not add the Polar Park part of it in there as well, and being able to see it. And like Rich said, there is a game later on that afternoon, so you can make a whole day of it and watch one of the baseball games. But we're really looking forward to it. Brian will be a part of that event, and I know that he's got a great presentation. He'll be discussing about the road mapping of the Industry 4.0 and what he has worked through with Marc. So it's going to be a great time. We really love for people to spread the word, and we are going to, keep it limited. We do have a smaller group that we're looking at having, but I still think that we'll be able to accommodate for everyone, all the manufacturers that are looking. So serious manufacturers is who we're looking at that really want to learn a lot more about the Industry 4.0 journey and how to roadmap it into their smaller, medium-sized manufacturing business.
Should be
So,
a great networking opportunity, and a great place to casually discuss this stuff with the people, experts in the industry. So
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, so please join us. So, well, thanks guys. Thanks for great content. Marc did say, he goes, I probably will be able to get through this pretty quickly, so I don't need a ton of time. And he was right. He knows his stuff. He was spot on with it. So yeah, Rich will be reaching out to everyone that is in attendance after this event regarding the Industry 4.0 roadmap, and just kind of a follow-up that gives him the opportunity. I know that somebody asked about the slide deck, and then Rich had put in there that it is on Facebook, and it is, but it is a nice place for Rich then to be able to reach out and say, here's the information, and kind of answer any of those questions that you might have in regards to the Industry 4.0 roadmap. So look for that. Look for him reaching out to you after this is over, and making contact. In the meantime, you can always reach out to us. There is our contact information. Rich's email is right there for you, and obviously our phone number, and also our website at massmep.org. You can go to our website there, and you can always register to attend our events, which May 20th, like I said, from 8 a.m. to noon. Go in there and sign up and get registered for the event today. So looks like we're going to give everybody 20 minutes extra back. So a nice extended lunch for the afternoon today. So thanks everybody for coming in. And if you want to rewatch it, go to our Facebook page and watch us again. And until next time, we will see everybody then.
Thanks,
Hey.
Ellie.
Thank
Thanks,
you
Marc.
guys.
Thanks all for attending.
Okay, it's just us.
Still-
Haley, we're
recording.
still live.